Once you had Alex Thang identified, what did the investigation become at that point?
It became a race against a decision that hadn't been carried out yet. Identifying him didn't end the case. It clarified the urgency. We weren't trying to understand what had already happened anymore. We were trying to interrupt what was about to happen next. That required a different way of thinking. We stopped looking backward and started projecting forward. If he was operating on thresholds, on moments where people committed their bodies to movement without awareness, then we needed to identify where those moments would occur again. That meant mapping environments across the city that shared those characteristics. Rooftop access points, subway platforms, stairwells, elevated walkways, any space where balance could be compromised before awareness could intervene. We monitored those locations, not randomly, but based on his previous movement patterns. He didn't choose unfamiliar ground. He returned to environments he had already studied. That repetition became our advantage.
So when you finally found him, what was he doing?
He was exactly where he had always intended to be. On a roof. Another NYCHA building in Brooklyn. Same type of environment, same access point, same conditions that had defined the first killing. He wasn't hiding. That was consistent with everything we knew about him. He didn't need concealment because his method relied on timing, not surprise. He was standing near the edge, and he wasn't alone. The man beside him didn't understand what was happening yet. That is what made the moment so difficult to watch unfold. There is a specific second where a person transitions from safety into vulnerability, and that second had not yet fully arrived. But it was close. Close enough that if we hesitated, the decision would be made before the victim even understood there was one to resist. We moved in, controlled, direct, without escalation. When we announced ourselves, Thanga turned. There was no panic in his expression. That detail stayed with me longer than anything else. He didn't look surprised. He looked interrupted, as if something he had already calculated had been disrupted at the last possible moment. He moved immediately, not away from us, toward the man.
And that's when you had to act.
Yes, because in that moment, hesitation would have completed his intention. I fired. He went down before he could close the distance. The man beside him never understood how close he had come to disappearing from his own life. That is the part people don't see when cases like this end. They see the arrest, the resolution, the removal of the threat. They don't see the moment that almost happened. What stayed with me wasn't the confrontation. It was how simple his idea had been. That people become most vulnerable the moment they stop thinking about where they are. Because that idea doesn't disappear when the person who acted on it is stopped. It stays, in every place where people move without thinking. In every moment where the body commits, before the mind has time to question it. And in every city that believes it understands danger until it realizes it has been looking at the wrong face all along.
Thank you for watching this episode. Please join us for another episode to hear another exciting case story from Detective Geathers.